We the Forest understands that the dream of forest restoration can't happen only in one place. We understand it's a unity and a duty for us as a community to drive and push for forest management more than in our own backyards. As we widen our range, we visit Gilchrist, Oregon. We take a look at a mill that is closed down but is the backbone of this town. To learn the history and what the reopening of this mill means. Gilchrist is a family town, and it always has been. Being founded in the 1900s, it's a small town with big personalities. It's a company town that starts with Gilchrist family, to be a wholesome town and run off the mill. We meet with John Pellissier, who knows a lot about the history of the mill and the troubles it has gone through to keep running.
History of Gilchrist. So when I first started here, it was a pretty awesome opportunity because in the late 80s, if you drove 97 and got on the Gilchrist ground, which was pretty much east side here of the town, and then west side, you kind of saw some of it on your road, but that you took earlier just north, everything was giant pine. And so in the early 1900s, the Gilchrist family was from Mississippi, and in the early 1900s, they sent cruisers out here to look at it, because the word was out that there was this vast amount of ponderosa pine. In 1937, the Gilchrist family started the town of Gilchrist. So they started building the mill, and they started building all the homes and the mall, and they built this whole community.
It was a company-owned town the whole time. Not like a lot of company-owned towns. It wasn't in the aspect that you had to buy from the store. They were independent entrepreneurs. The employees lived in the town for basically low rent.
So they came out and they started the lumber company, and it provided a lot of family wage jobs. They donated to the county to build the school here so that nobody had to travel. We had a full functioning grocery mercantile store here, barber shop, beauty salon, restaurant, cafe. It was a very self-enclosed town. I mean, they didn't have to drive to Bend except for doctors, lawyers, those kind of things that we did not have here, but we had gas stations and mechanics, and it was a bustling town.
They continued that management until the late 80s, and then just family changed. Frank Gilchrist passed away. The kids were managing it, some different things. Well, they decided to sell the property in the early 90s, and Crown Pacific purchased that property. Late 90s, early 2000, probably like 2001, 2002, Crown Pacific declared bankruptcy because everything went up for sale with Crown. And that's when Interfor bought the mill. The land was picked up separately from Fidelity. They continued that until all this came about last year and kind of slowed things down, both markets. I think it was part of the pandemic. There was probably a lot of stuff I'm not aware of, but it all came together, and that's when Interfor just shut down, and it was really unknown at that time what that meant.
I hate to see all the change that's happened. If you come here and you've never been here, you're going to go, oh yeah, it's a beautiful place. And it is a beautiful place. But so much is not here anymore. And it used to be a smaller, everybody knew everybody, Mayberry RFD kind of a place. And I miss that place. And to me, the Gilchrist Mill is kind of part of that nostalgic past. And so I would hate to see it go.
When the mill did shut down, you could feel the atmosphere just in the air around here that it was a really sad time. The uncertainty of everybody and their livelihoods was just up in the air.
There was very significant worry within a lot of the people, not only people that are working or working age, but people that are retired, of exactly what I was talking about, that the stores would close, the restaurants would close, Everything that had been unique about this area would no longer be significant, and that a lot of the people, their friends, would have to move away. Kids would have to, the school would close. We'd have to go take our kids to different schools. So it was a very significant. So it was far-reaching. It was not just in this area, but because this is an iconic Oregon place, and anybody that works in the industry, you ask them in Oregon, they know the Gilchrist sawmill. So it was very, very significant, and a lot of people were very worried. But on the other side of that, a lot of people weren't willing to give up on it. Given a month off, given 2 months off, a lot of people would leave and realize that maybe the opportunity was no longer here. But, and I say this, and it's a lot, people love this world. They love living here, and so they wanted to believe.